With this, it led to me another question, which is, as you were guiding us that if you were taking some control pills, so for that you told that you need to take some gap, and then after that if you try, then the hormones gets count up, and then you can start with your pregnancy plan. Now what if a couple wants to take any medications to conceive? So what type of medications will help in conceiving and in early pregnancy?
Um, yeah, it's very important to take care of this, because if you're already taking a few medications before pregnancy, like some people are diabetic, some people are hypertensive, some people have other medical issues that they are navigating, and they are trying to get pregnant. So it all depends on individual situations, how to change the doses, which medicines are safe to take during pregnancy. So I would recommend making an appointment with OBGYN, because there's a huge list of medicines, and based on individual profile, they will modify it, they will change it. But I would like to talk about the medicines that are very important to start when you are trying to conceive, so that the mother's and baby's health is in the best shape possible. And these are mostly multivitamins and folic acid. So to start with, folic acid is very, very important. It's usually the dosage is 400 microgram to start with. But when you're actually pregnant, the dose increases to up to 600 to 1000 micrograms. And it's very important to prevent the neural tube defects in the baby. And a lot of people, they do not have enough folic acid in their regular meal plan. So how you can get folic acid is through supplements. And on top of that, if you are eating green leafy vegetables, some cereals which are fortified with it, and all these things, they usually, the citrus fruits itself have good content of folic acid. So if you can incorporate that in your diet, would be great. Number two, which is very important for bone health, is calcium for both mother and baby. And the calcium levels usually are around 1000 milligram per day. And as you all know, dairy is a source of it. So you can definitely get your calcium from there, apart from the supplements. Number three would be vitamin D. It goes hand in hand with your calcium levels. And vitamin D recommendation is usually around 600 international units. And vitamin D source is like good salmon, fatty fish. Salmon is really good for that. And some people think that the fish should not be consumed during pregnancy, but here's a catch. The fish which is not recommended during pregnancy is something which is high in mercury levels. So this includes all the big and old fishes. The bigger they are, the older they are, there's more mercury content. So some of the fish, they are actually indicated and they are safe to take and healthier to take during pregnancy, but you have to figure it out which ones to take. And number four being protein intake. The protein intake is usually around 71 grams per day. And protein is also, again, amazing in the fortified foods, the pulses, the grams, the nuts. So it's very important to have all of this included in your diet. And I know it is hard, but if you can probably change or modify a few meals of your day, it would be easier to incorporate it in your diet. I think that lastly, iron is also very important. And these are the most important nutrients. And apart from that, you're already taking multivitamins, and which will give you enough source of everything else which we haven't talked about. But these were the major ones that you definitely need a lot.
All right. So all these things, instead of having medicine, if we make a proper diet where we are having all type of multivitamins and minerals, everything in our diet, then in a way we are already preparing ourselves. Our body is getting that appropriate, proteins and vitamins which you are talking about. It starts to gain at early time itself, right? So
Yeah, this is in addition to the folic acid and the multivitamins that we are taking.
exactly, exactly. So this is folic acid. I have heard a lot, and coming from you is again, it's like the stamp from a doctor that folic acid is definitely very helpful, and it will help you to conceive. Now, coming from this question, as we were discussing in a previous question, where the couple is working and they are planning for a baby. Now, this decision is basically the most important decision for a woman, because she has to sacrifice her body, she has to sacrifice her commitments, she has to sacrifice her career. So when nowadays ladies take their career so seriously, they don't want to compromise, though they have to eventually compromise, but still at some point of their heart they want that I don't want to compromise my career just for pregnancy. So is it okay to work in pregnancy? What are the things that needs to be taken care of if a working woman wants to conceive?
That's a great question, and it's the need of the hour, Sonali. Um, I totally understand where they're coming from. They have given so much to their career throughout, and then one big change in their life, and it takes away all their passion and career that they have built over so many years. So I do not blame them, and I think the times that we are living in, we do not have enough support at this point because everyone is working in different places. So it's very hard for a mother or a family unit to take care of the work situation, the household, the child. It is very, very hard. So what I recommend in this situation is, first of all, it's very safe to work during pregnancy unless your OBGYN deems you to be a high risk pregnancy or recommend bed rest. Otherwise, it's very safe to work during pregnancy. I was working 12 hours shift in the hospital until the last month of my pregnancy. And I was fine with it. If my body didn't allow me, then I wouldn't do it. But I was fine during that time. So what changes I made during the time related to my work that helped me a lot were, first of all, you have to create boundaries. I would say this, it's not normally right thing to do, but you have to be self-centered at this point. You have to put yourself first, because if you don't, then it would be a very, very hard time for you. So create boundaries, meaning if you are single, you have all the time in the world. I've seen people just doing meetings at any hour of the time. They schedule their work. They don't care about, like, hey, it's 7 p.m. I'll
Mhm.
just do the meeting. It's okay. They're flexible in that way. But once you're pregnant, you have a family, you have a child to take care of. You have to make sure that, like, you politely ask them, like, if someone asks you, hey, can we have a meeting at 8 p.m., you can just say, hey, how about this time? Because if you do not tell them that you have other commitments too, you have to maintain your work life balance, then it's very easy to cross that line, and then it accumulates over time and it drains you out.
Mhm.
Number two, I would recommend is, um, pursue flexibility. These days, so many work organizations, they are allowing hybrid work or remote work. Talk to your place if you want to do it, if it's okay in your situation. If you start that conversation early on, like when you are 4 months pregnant in your first trimester or second, it will give you time to think about it, what you want. It will give your organization time to think about how they can help you in the best way possible. So it's good to start these conversations early on. And you can also talk to your colleagues, your peers who have been in that situation and how it worked out for them. So I think this is a blessing to be able to work remotely these days, especially for new parents. Then plan childcare, because the most important reason why women had to come back from the workforce, they ended up um, losing, or they ended up giving up on their job, is they couldn't find childcare. And it's very hard to find it, to be honest, the right one who fits your family dynamics. If you're looking for a nanny, for a babysitter, for daycares, it's not always right. like you don't get lucky always in first go. You have to try which ones works the best for your family, for your child. So that search takes a lot of time. And if you have good support for childcare, then the mother and father, they both can go to work. The mother, they don't have to stay back and take care of the baby when they also have a working life to take care of. So
Mhm.
it's very, very important to figure that out. If your family members are willing to help you during the initial few months, it's amazing. Just talk to them if they are willing to. Then use your network, use your mommy network, because they have been in that situation, because there are so many friends of ours in different companies. When you're pregnant, you are in postpartum phase, you might love your work, but eventually you might feel that your work environment doesn't suit you the best. If you find a job which better suits your profile, you can start thinking about that switch, after talking to your network, so that you are in your best work situation when you're coming out of your maternity leave, and if you want to move around or change your jobs. So I think all these preparations in the beginning takes away that anxiety and pressure from the couple, and it also reduces the friction between the couple, your partner, because they are also trying to help you, but they do not know how to. So I think if you both talk it out from the very beginning, when you have still time, it takes away a lot of pressure.